Alright, so let's go ahead and look at problem number 1. So on the first problem, we have a circle, then we have this line starting at the center, going all the way to the edge. So remembering that when the line goes from the center of my circle all the way to the edge, that's called our radius. And the number that we have here for our radius is 11. So the radius in this problem is going to be 11. Simple enough. Underline it to let me know this is my answer. Then we have diameter. Well, if I remember my definition, diameter is the distance all the way through the center of my circle. So if this 11 is just halfway through my circle, all the way I would have to double it. So I can say 11 plus another 11 equals 22. So my diameter in this problem is 22. 22 is the diameter. Circumference, I gotta go back and figure out what was my formula for circumference. My formula was circumference equals pi times the diameter. So this letter C right here is my circumference, so that's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for what is the letter C. Pi, well, instead of pi, we're going to go ahead and use the number 3.14. And then I'm multiplying it times my diameter. And we just solved that our diameter was 22. So diameter is 22. So my last step is I'm going to have to go ahead and multiply those two numbers and figure out what is my circumference. So let's go ahead and do 3.14 times 22. So I got to figure out all my partial sums, add them together to find my final answer. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I'm going over to this tens place where there's a 2. So I need my placeholder since I'm moving a place over. And since I'm multiplying everything times 2 again, it's going to be all the same numbers. 2 times 4 was 8. 2 times 1 was 2, and 2 times 3 was 6. So now I'm going to go ahead and add all of those partial sums to give me my final answer. So 8 plus 0 is 8, 2 plus 8 is 10, so I got to carry the 1 over here. So 1 plus 6 plus 2 more makes 9. And then the 6 is all by itself, so a 6. Now I had 1, 2 decimal place values. So back here I'm going to have 1, 2 decimal place values. So my final answer for my circumference is 69.08. 69 and 8/100ths. Now let's go ahead and go down to figuring out our area. So my area formula for a circle was area equals pi r squared. So the first thing I want to do when I see this r squared is I'm going to rewrite this as the area equals pi times my radius again. It's the exact same thing. They usually write it like this so they can have less things to write, but I like just writing it all out. It's the same thing, same kind of problem, just written a little bit different. So let's go ahead and figure out our area is equal to pi, which was 3.14. Our radius in this problem we said was 11, so we're going to multiply 11 and then multiply 11 again. So let's go ahead and multiply all these numbers. So we can do it one at a time, or we can multiply any order. It's all going to be able to multiply. Since we're multiplying, we can multiply them in any order. I just like to go from left to right so I don't get confused. So the very first number I'm going to multiply, might not want to write here because there's a hole over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this area formula on this side and do 3.14 times 11. Alright, so my first one will be just 4, 1, and 3. And then I go to my tens place, 4, 1, and 3 again. I'm adding them all up. 4, 5, 4, 3. So I had 1, 2 place values. So I'm going to go 1, 2 place values for my answer. So now I have 34.54 or 34 and 54 hundredths. We're going to multiply that last 11 that we have here. So 34 and our 54 hundredths times 11. So we're multiplying by 1. It makes it a little bit simpler. 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Now I go to this tens place, so I need a placeholder. 4, 5, 4, and 3 again, just multiplying by 1. So now I'm going to add up those partial sums, and I get 4, 9, 9, 3 plus 4 is 7, and this 3 is all by itself. There was 1, 2 place values, so in my answer I need 1, 2 place values. My final answer for the area equals 379.94, or the area equals 379 and 94 hundredths. Alright, so we figured out the radius, the diameter, we found our circumference using our circumference formula, we found our area using our area formula. So go ahead and work on those next 3 problems for me, and we'll be good as new. Bye.